Like the mullet hairstyle, the Jeep Compass serves a dual function. It's business at the front and party at the back. Although in the Compass's case, it's a refined family cruiser during the week and an off-road action adventurer on the weekend. The Compass first appeared back in 2007 and look, to be honest, it was no oil painting, and this second generation car looks much better. And although it's American through and through, the Compass is actually not made in the United States at all. In fact, this right-hand drive version actually comes from India. The front end of the Compass resembles that of its bigger brother, the Cherokee, although it's interesting to note that the top of the grille up here is completely blanked out, making this car at a glance look like it could be electric, but it's not. It's diesel, breathes completely from below. This top spec Trailhawk model gets decals up here on the bonnet, or decals. I've never actually known which is correct. Maybe you can let me know. And the light clusters here look good. We've got fog lights down the bottom there that do double duty as turning lights as well. Now, although this is officially categorized as a compact SUV, as you can see side on, it's really not that small. It's kind of almost edging into mid-size territory. It's got a trail rated badge here, just to remind you that this car is authorized for serious off-roading by Jeep. As you can see, it's got a fair bit of ground clearance too, allowing you to climb over obstacles. The A-pillar in black here, and that leads up to a black roof with roof racks. I'm not mad about these 17-inch alloy wheels with hexagonal details. They just look a bit kind of weird to me, although the hexagon is a bit of a recurring theme, as we'll see when we get inside the car there, wrapped in Falcon Wild Peak rubber. At the back, there's not a huge amount to report. If there was a tow bar attached, you'd have a braked towing capacity of 1,500 kilograms, which is not massive. In fact, the entry-level version of the Compass, the Night Eagle, it's not recommended that you tow at all. However, there is a bright red tow hook down the bottom there should you need to tow anyone out of a bog or something. Underneath the powered tailgate, which takes a moment to open, is a 438 litre storage space. If you knock down those back seats, you buy yourself an extra 1,200 litres of room, and underneath this rubber mat and the floor lies a full-size spare tyre. Under the bonnet and this top spec Trailhawk Compass gets insulation that's popping out from the front fender here. I don't know if that's a deliberate design feature or not. I don't think it would last there very long though. The engine, however, is a 2-litre turbo diesel that outputs 125 kilowatts of power and 350 newton meters of torque. It drives its power to all 4 wheels via a 9-speed automatic transmission, and fuel economy is pretty good at 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle. Inside, and the Compass Trailhawk really does prove itself to be one of the more comfortable SUVs around. There's leather, soft touch materials, a nice design. It's a really comfortable place to be. The centerpiece is the 10.1-inch center console screen, which runs some really good software actually. It's easy to use, it has nice sharp graphics. The images from the reversing camera and the front end camera are nice and sharp. There's also wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Some control buttons for the lane guidance assist and automatic parking features just underneath that. A couple of air vents. The air conditioning controls are pretty simple to use, although the temperature is controlled by up-down arrows, which doesn't feel quite as intuitive as the knobs that are next to it, which are actually used for the sound system, but you know, splitting hairs there, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. A couple of USBs, a USB-C and a USB-A underneath that, a wireless charging pad for your phone, and then we've got the lower center console here, which features your drive mode controls, which I can't see at the moment because the engine's not on, but we can fix that up. So the drive modes are rock, sand/mud, snow, and auto. I leave it in auto for around town. And then we've got the 4-wheel drive controls for 4-wheel drive low and 4-wheel drive lock, plus hill descent control. A couple of good sized cup holders, a smallish center console bin, which has a nice leather wrap on it with red stitching. There's no head-up display, that's one thing that's missing, but the digital instrument cluster, it's okay. I feel like they could be doing a lot more with it. There's a lot of black empty space and they just aren't really utilizing that as well as they could. There's a few different display modes, but none of them are really amazing. Some full screen maps would have been nice perhaps. The steering wheel has a really good feel to it. It's got quite a fairly chunky, solid sort of feel to it. It's wrapped in leather with more red stitching. Annoyingly, there's no sound system controls on the steering wheel. These arrows here are actually for controlling menus on the instrument cluster, so you can only change volume with the dial here in the center, which is a little bit annoying, but you do get used to it. Adaptive cruise control functions just next to that. The seats are leather, but they're not very soft. They're pretty firm actually. Durable, definitely, so good for off-roading, but perhaps not the most comfortable ones to be in. There is full electric adjustment for the driver and front passenger. There's also lumbar support, but no heating or ventilation, although that is an option. The seating position, well, we're sitting up nice and high. I can see pretty much to the front of the bonnet. There's a camera placed at the front there to help you with low-speed maneuvering. Good visibility through the rear vision mirror. Not too bad in the blind spots there, although the sills are quite high. Maybe the wing mirrors could be a little bit bigger. They are a little bit on the small side, but all up, it's a pretty comfortable place to be. The back seat of the Jeep Compass, and I'm 190 centimeters tall behind my own sitting position, and look, it's a little tight, but not too bad really. My knees just touching the seat in front, but that's okay. Hair just touching the ceiling here, but that's all right. 2 air vents, 2 more USBs, a USB-C and a USB-A, and there is also a 230 volt power outlet down here, which you can plug into well, any device you like while you're out camping, and another 12 volt output next to that. So all up, back seat, it's okay. So despite this car's off-road capability, around town, it is really nice to drive. But having said that, like all off-road four-wheel drives, it is just a little bit on the bouncy side. I mean, the suspension is designed to go literally up the side of a mountain, and on speed humps and potholes around town you do get a little bit of extra bounce, but it handles it pretty well. And of course, being a diesel, it does make quite a truck-like kind of noise, but you know what, for an off-road four-wheel drive, that's all right. It just might be a bit noisier than some of the other SUVs you'll encounter at the school pickup. So the hexagon is a bit of a recurring design theme. Not only do we see it on the alloy wheels, but it's also all over the rubber floor mats and on the graphics in the instrument cluster as well. In terms of safety gear, incredibly well stocked, pretty much everything you need. The only problem I've encountered is with the emergency stopping feature, which alerts the driver if a car in front of you has stopped and if it thinks you've failed to notice. It's a little bit overly sensitive. There have been a few situations where the traffic has slowed in front of me, and just as I'm putting my foot on the brake, alarms start going off. It doesn't automatically brake, at least not that I've encountered, but the noise and the flashing on the digital instrument cluster is certainly alarming. So I haven't done this for a while. I might give the automatic parking feature a bit of a go and see how well that works. Space found, stop and remove hands from wheel. Okay, shift to reverse. Done. Check surroundings. Yep, all good. Move backwards. Here we go. It always freaks me out a little bit seeing the wheel turn by itself. Stop. Done. Impressive. Very nice park. The only problem with these systems is that the amount of time it takes to do that, especially if you've got cars waiting for you, is a little bit on the long side. So, I mean, it probably would be quicker just to do it myself, but it's good to know that the car can do it. So the thing I really like about this car is that it can do it all, really. I mean, it can be your daily driver to take the kids to and from school, your daily commute in total comfort with every feature and gadget you could possibly want. And then if you want to go off-road on the weekend, you don't need a completely different car to do it. This car can do it all. There's really not much to dislike about the Jeep Compass Trailhawk. If you're looking for a small SUV that can survive the urban jungle during the week and then take you to a real jungle on the weekend, then this could be for you.